It's your boy Chad Rob. We back, baby. The hashtag I am who I am, the podcast, episode 26.
Wow.
26, man.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all remember that running back for the Minnesota Vikings?
Which one?
Number 26. Light-skinned dude.
Light-skinned, 26.
I can't think of his name. Saved my life.
When he played for?
With Randy Moss and Randall Cunningham.
Oh.
Man, we finna go back.
Yeah, it's gonna drive me nuts. Smith. Last name was Smith, I think. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, this episode 26, man, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm in the midst of family. I got my cousin on my right, my cousin on my left. Introduce yourself, fellas.
What's going on? My name is MJ Reese, CFO of the FDReese Foundation and Reese Enterprise.
I'm Alan M. Reese. I'm the CEO of the FDReese Foundation, Reese Enterprise, everything.
Yeah, everything.
A lot of hats.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, yeah, it's Black History Month, and I wanted to come see my cousins because my uncle, their grandfather, was really a vital piece of the movement in Selma, Alabama. Is that correct?
Right. That's right.
And I've watched the movie Selma.
Okay.
And I actually saw his name in the credits, which I thought was amazing.
Yes, sir.
And then I had a shirt that was mailed to me when I was a kid.
Okay.
And he's on the ground praying with Dr. King.
That's right.
Before the bridge. So talk to me a little bit about the foundation and everything that y'all got going on.
Do you want us to talk about what he contribute to the movement or just the foundation?
Just the foundation right now.
Okay.
We'll talk about what he contributed
well,
here.
The foundation, man, we got a lot going on. Our mission statement is we're walking in the spirit of FDReese. So, you know, my granddaddy, he held a lot of hats. You know, he was a humanitarian, he was an educator, he was a pastor.
Yes.
So the foundation, we do back to school drives. We got a couple of essays out there, scholarships for,
nice.
You know, for HBCUs. We got an HBCU grant. We have just a straight out scholarship for anyone. So that's just some of the things we do. We did tours for Tots for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
So you know, we're a young foundation, but you know, we get some traction.
Oh, yes, sir.
You know,
yes, sir. No doubt.
Around the ATL and around Selma, Alabama. You know.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So okay, so talk to me about these hats he wore. I mean, I know he was your grandfather. I remember when we were kids, y'all would come up to Tennessee or we come down to, you know, I think we went to Selma for his something that he had going on down there one time many years ago.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it was for, but anyway.
Probably the naming of his parkway.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right outside
sir.
the bridge on down.
What was that, 2000?
2000.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I was still in high school. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, talk to me about some of these hats.
Well, FD, man, he had a lot of hats, and you know, out of me and my brother, I pretty much know most of the history.
Okay.
You know, because my granddad and I, we spent a lot of time talking about it. Because I had beef with the historians on how they wouldn't put him out there, and his his contribution to the movement.
Yes, sir.
But he held two important hats during the movement. He was the president of the Dallas County Voters League. That is the lead in the organization that got Dr. King and the SCLC to Selma, Alabama.
Oh.
So he had his official signature of being president of that, got Dr. King to Selma. And a lot of people don't know that. They think Dr. King just ended up in Selma.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, sir.
It was the Dallas County Voters League and the Courageous Eight. You know, so those were the leaders of the Dallas County Voters League. But my grandfather was the man. He was the president of that. But also, he was also the president of the teachers, the Selma Teachers Association. And he led the first, in world history, he led the first all teachers march. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because if you go back in history, man, you look at, he said that the teachers were the largest profession in Selma. And they didn't realize how much weight they carried.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, man, those are two important hats he held. To kind of bridge the gap in the movement.
Right. So talk to me about like how you were raised. I mean, I know you spent a lot of time with your grandfather when you were young. Talk to me a little bit about you know, his kind of his the way he would talk to you. Because I know when I was with my granddaddy, you know, he had me outside chopping wood and teaching me the value of working hard and, you know, telling me, you know, to always the Lord first and then we'll worry about this, you know, second.
Exactly.
You got to eat, you got to pay your bills, but we got to go to church, you know. So talk to me about how he was kind of around the house.
He was somewhat like that, but also the crazy part about it was he had a lot of personality, which a lot of people that was older than us didn't see. They said he really didn't get personality. He had grandkids.
Gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, we had those sermons and those sit down and talk. And to be honest, he would say those things. You know, of course, trusting the Lord and all of that. But then he would also bring it to a level where you can understand it. So sometimes he would get straight and narrow. Like we'll talk about the girls and
okay.
So he would give advice on that level also. And so he was well rounded. So the discussions and everything with Granddad was always well rounded. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I remember when we came down to the funeral, I had never seen nothing like it. You know, it was not only a celebration, but it was a way of respect was paid I had never seen before. You know, I wasn't really familiar with. You know, I mean, when I saw the woman from the Oval Office come in and read Obama, read the statement, and I saw you up there delivering a message. I didn't even realize you were even preaching or you know, doing any of that stuff, man. And you know, and then the choirs and the different. You know, everything. It was crazy to me. Then when I walk out, I see Frederick D. Reese. I think it was Road or it just threw me for a loop, man, because I was just, you know, honored that I was even there in the midst of that, and also that, you know, that's somebody that's my uncle.
That's
you
right.
know? So talk to me. How can we? Because like my kids don't even know that. You see what I'm saying? So talk to me about how we can do better about spreading the lineage to our youth.
I think we could do a better job by just spending time with them and sharing that at home. You know, because let's be honest, the school system is not going to share.
No.
So, and right now, let's be real, it's easier for us because when we were coming up, I don't know if y'all remember encyclopedias.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we didn't have Google.
Right. Them red books with the letter on it.
So we had to go and really search and find information.
Yes,
so
sir.
now, man, we could sit there with an iPad or a phone or something and really just Google different things or what, not just about my grandfather, but, you know, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that was a great time in the early 1900s for us as black people because they had ownership, you know, coming out of Reconstruction, you know, after the Emancipation Proclamation was passed. So those different things are at our fingertips with technology. So just sitting there, just Googling.
You know
what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that would really help. That's where we can start. And then I think once we Google that and really learn the information at home, we can then start going to the museums. And so now you share with them a small piece, and then you can broaden that by taking them to the museum. Remember when we saw this? Remember when we read this? We saw this on the phone.
Wow!
And I give you a little personal story. My daughter came home with a book. It was a Coretta Scott King book. And in this book had the front line of the march from Selma, Montgomery. Granddad was on there. He was marching right next to Coretta Scott King. Oh, wow! So she came home with this book. And she recognized the picture, and it was a cartoon, but it didn't have his name on it.
Wow!
And so what I told her is that's what me and Uncle Allen is trying to get changed, because a lot of the times, and they'll teach, you know, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, which is fine.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I think we got to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people, like the foot soldiers and all, they don't get the credit that they deserve, and my granddaddy falls in that category.
And that was my beef with my granddad. And and I'm gonna tell you how we ended up with this mission.
Okay.
We was at the house in Selma, and you know I always had a mouth. I used to always tell Granddad, you know, I was the one who invited him to my school when I was in 5th grade. People didn't believe, like when I opened the book, so that's my granddad. So the teachers wouldn't believe me because it was not a name with the face, so they couldn't see Reese and Reese.
Oh, okay.
So what happened? I used to call my granddad on the phone. I said, "Granddaddy, don't believe that you and my grandfather. I need you to come to Atlanta." So he used to show it to the school, man. It used to be wild. You know, the teacher would be like, "What in the world?" So as I started growing and I got older, I said, "Granddaddy, it really bothers me that, you know, you don't get the props that you should get, because let's be honest, without FDReese, John Lewis's group wouldn't be in Selma either, SNCC. But of course, the school system don't teach that. You know, he invited SNCC and then the SCLC.
Right.
So I said, "Granddad, man, we got to change that." So one day I was going on my little rant. He said, "Well, if you feel that way, here's my legacy. So you do what you feel is best." So I went to my brother, and let's start a foundation. You know, because we know my granddad was older, so he gonna live forever.
Right.
So hey, we got to put things in place to continue the work he was doing.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I told Granddad, like Hosea Williams used to tell me, make sure your grandfather finished his book. So I said, "Granddad, you got to finish the book."
Yeah.
That solidifies the story. So yeah, man. So it's just those different things that a lot of people don't know behind the scene, how we got here. You know. It was me kind of fussing at Granddad, like, "Man, I'm tired of this. You know, I'm tired of seeing these pictures of you and no name. Like, it was a big picture of him downtown Atlanta on the Arts Museum. No name.
Wow.
Now everybody looking at it. A big old picture. Right down P Street.
Wow.
No name. I said, we got to change it. And it's not, and my thing is, Chad, because it's not about my grandfather. A lot of people don't know my grandfather was fatherless.
No, I didn't know that.
He didn't know his dad. And then when you read the book, I'm going to give it to you. When you read the book, how he met his father. The casket was going down the road. So my thing is, with his legacy, sometimes men use, I didn't have a father in my life, so this is why I'm like this.
Right.
And I say, okay, look at Dr. King. He has the American family, mother, father together.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll show you a man, he was great, but he didn't know his father, but look how he turned out. So it's the story is even bigger than my grandfather. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
man, that's so cool, man. That I can only imagine as a kid, you know what I'm saying, reading books, seeing my granddaddy picture and talking about this is my granddaddy, and people looking at me like I'm a fool.
Yeah,
like
oh man, be quiet.
Yeah, like I'm
quiet.
crazy. Yeah. Because I know how real that is. You know, cause everybody want to think you nuts. But
and the beauty of it is because we finding letters he wrote to King.
Oh wow!
We're finding everything, like with the people that lost their job during the movement, he kept that. People were sending money orders and stuff from all over the nation.
That's right. Wow.
From Canada, from Philly, Chicago, and to the house. Because he was the president.
Right.
So they were sending out, and man, it's
we talking about the 50s and 60s.
Right. We finding this stuff.
Yeah. Dang, that's priceless.
Yeah. It's a journey. It's nice though.
They had the long billy clubs, and they on horseback pursuing the marchers across the bridge back to the church. I had prayer, read scripture, and while in that sanctuary, tried to offer as much comfort as I could.
In 1965, Dr. Frederick D. Reese was president of both the Dallas County Voters League and the Selma Teachers Association.
The sheriff at that time, his name was Jim Clark. He was a vicious sheriff. He was a symbol of resistance in the South.
When the teachers attempted to go into the courthouse to register to vote, they were forced back down the steps by the sheriff.
When you went on a march, you did not know what type of violence you might encounter or what would be the experience. But you marched in faith because there was something within you which kept telling you that although you were going against forces of evil, injustices, he that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. The fight was not only for African Americans, it was really for all Americans. Freedom can really, in the final analysis, only be found in Jesus. That's where freedom is. That's where peace is, tranquility. And then we can join in with him also in saying that free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last, knowing that in Jesus there is liberty, there is freedom.
All right, so to kind of change it up, everybody come on the podcast, man. I gotta know this, and then we'll get back into it.
Okay.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Top 5.
Top 5 in order to, and it gotta be in order, man. It's
gotta be in order.
Gotta be in order. So, and this is the credentials. I don't care if they got one verse,
Okay.
one song, one album. I don't care how popular they are. I'm talking about when you going through it. When you happy, when you're sad, when you need to put something in the deck that's gonna get you through, I want to know your top 5, your go-tos, the people you ride with as far as rapping.
That's tough.
And we can start either way.
You go on.
In order.
And they gotta write their own lyrics. They gotta
write their own lyrics.
Yeah, not top 5 performers.
I got you.
Not top 5 performers.
It's crazy. I was talking to somebody about this work. Number 1.
Oh, so we're starting at the top then. 1 is best, 5 is the worst.
1. I'm gonna go with Tupac.
Ooh, okay.
You gotta go with Tupac.
I can dig that.
I gotta go with number 2. Man, see this way it get tough. I'm gonna go with Tupac. I'm gonna go with God.
It's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I can't do it in order, man.
Well,
Tupac. I'm gonna put it in my top 5. Tupac. I'm gonna go with Andre 3000.
ooh, okay. He's popular on the podcast.
I'm gonna go with Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Biggie.
Ooh,
That's how I'm gonna do it.
yeah. Okay.
Jay-Z,
Okay.
Lil Wayne, Biggie.
Yeah.
I got Tupac 1.
Okay.
I got Biggie 2.
Ooh.
I got Andre 3.
Okay.
I got Eminem 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's
a curve.
Yeah, he in top 10 to me. Go ahead. Who's
Have you
number
heard that
5?
new one? That new Eminem?
I ain't heard the new one yet.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, top 5, Jay. I don't care. I don't see Cole on that one. So, dude, just rap.
Yeah, you can rap.
5. I did 4 right.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
for Eminem.
Man, I want to say Jadakiss, man.
Was it Jadakiss?
Oh no, I got to go with Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
5.
That's what's up. He do got, I mean.
And the only reason I go with Hov, and it's crazy, I was talking yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I've seen, the reason why he's in my top 5, because I've seen him evolve.
And I be hating on Hov.
Right. Yeah, right.
I be hating on Hov. And when I was coming up, like, if you put the New York music in the deck, man, we ain't gonna ride with it, man. We just can't ride with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just off GP.
True.
Right? But as I'm getting older, I realized there were a few songs that I like, man.
Right.
And like you said, his growth has been just It's been crazy. If you can't get motivated watching his development to do something with yourself,
right?
You ain't got no heart.
And that's why he in.
Yeah, I can dig it. I can dig it. So I know y'all saw that dude hit the dude with the chair at Kansas State, right?
I saw that.
You saw that?
I saw that.
So with everything that's going on, and with it being Black History Month, man, I don't know exactly what's going on, but my question is, do you think if that would have been white students, would it have been as big of a deal?
If it was white students
or players, like, because they're all student athletes. Do you think it would have blew up that big? Because it was a national televised game.
I don't. I really don't. I think a lot of times the media has the power to portray things, and let people see things. It's like I tell people, they show us fighting in the club and stuff, but you go to NASCAR, the same thing is happening. But they don't show that. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I think sometimes that, we are shown in the media more as, wild and don't know how to control ourselves more than our white counterpart. I got you.
The reason why I asked that question is because all I kept hearing was how he was about to hit somebody with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
not that he hit him with a chair, was about to hit somebody with a chair, and they were trying to crucify him for almost hitting somebody with a chair. And I just thought that was, with it being Black History Month, I just thought that was a question. I just kind of wanted your opinion on it. Because it's just crazy to me how you can almost hit somebody with a chair. I've never known that. But anyway, so talk to me about the website, man. The website campaign, man. I was on it the other day, kind of looking through it, man. It looks, it looks great.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Miss Valerie Shaw.
Oh, nice.
She did our website, the foundation website.
Yeah.
And man, she did a great job.
Yeah,
man. Like I said, that's the website pretty much. Put in a nutshell, you go to the website, you'll learn about us, what's our mission, what are we doing. There's other things we have to upload on the website that we've done. But like I said, if you want to donate and say, hey man, I see that scholarship I want to donate to, you can.
Nice.
Because that was a big part of our grandfather as an educator.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna put more things up there, like people where they can go register to vote and.
Register to vote from the website?
Yeah, we're gonna put it up there, man.
Wow.
That's very important.
Yeah.
For people to have, access to that, to be able to get the information. How do I, register to vote? We don't even know. We don't educate the people on that. On the simple things we learned in social study in elementary.
Well, wasn't nobody paying attention to that, man. It wasn't nobody that looked like us in the book. I wasn't trying to hear none of that. That's honest truth. You telling me about some cat
that's real.
That I can't even relate to on any type of form or fashion.
That's right.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? And then you give me 1 month to look at these other people, but by then I'm already so gun shy from reading this. I don't want to even read that.
And that's why that's why I'm not a big fan of just saying Black history.
Right.
Because I feel like it's American history. How can you put all the history that Black people have contributed to America in 1 month?
You
can't do it. And in the shortest month.
You know what I'm saying? That's bananas.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to change the way we think, man. That's why I disagree. I don't know if you saw an article in South Carolina not too long ago, man. They were trying to pass that the school gave the children they in the curriculum take a Black history class all year. They shot it down. The school system shot it down, man. And I think I might get involved. Talk to the foundation, see if we can get involved in that because it's very important.
Yeah, of course.
We've been listening about Thomas Jefferson and We the People of 1776 all these years.
Right.
It's time to talk about the whole history.
Right.
And go on sliders in there. Y'all been having it for 400 years. You know what I'm saying? It's time to sliders in there.
It's interesting. We don't know.
We don't know.
Right. We don't know, and and it may change people's perspective, like the whole race thing. The whole reason I brought up that basketball thing, what you think is because it may change the whole.
That's right.
You may quit looking at me like I'm a like I'm a wild and I'm out of cage or something. You might be like, oh, now I see why.
Right.
He's slow to be friends, walking around with a tough face.
Right.
Because I have
you get a better understanding.
Better understanding.
We taught in church, man. Spiritually, you talk. We talk with the word how spiritually things are passed on through your lineage.
Yes, sir.
But now you don't understand why we as Black people think the way we think and the way we approach things, because spiritually, if you for 300 years you get beat, and then now you're taking that out of slavery into this world, you think different. That's why I say Black people, man, we need to be talking to psychiatrists every week.
Yeah, I think it's
real talk.
Well, I think I was listening to Charlemagne on Breakfast Club one time. He was talking about something similar to that. Like most Black men are gun shy, because heck, I can remember getting whoopings as a kid all the time. Heck, I've even spanked my daughters a few times to get them to understand, like, hey, but that ain't really what time it is. That's a slave mentality. Yeah. And I ain't saying, spare the rod, all that. I ain't saying.
It's a difference between discipline
and a whooping.
Right.
And being beaten.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Now, what's coming
we
out?
was getting beatings.
We was getting beaten.
We was getting beatings. You know what I'm saying? I gave a little whoop, a little check, straighten up. Yeah, a little encouragement slap.
Some of it was good for us.
It was. Yeah. Nah, it was. I always think you should discipline your kids in that way, man, because it makes them think about something before they do it. I know I always did.
Right.
They're like, if I
do this, exactly. Gonna be hurting later.
But you're right. It's like we have to teach our sons how to. I know I have a young son, AJ. My brother has a son. It's gonna become a point of time that I got to teach him how to act when he get pulled over by the police.
Talk to me about that.
Our other counterparts don't have to do that.
Yeah, man. It's scary.
Real talk.
Well, I'll give you an example, man. I used to drive a 96 Impala. It was clean, man. It was a clean whip. Clean whip. But it meets the stereotype for someone that sells narcotics. Right? So I drove this car for years. It was paid off. I owned it. I drove it for years, man. And then it got to the point, the whole time I was driving it, man, I would be leaving work and get pulled over, search my car every time. It became routine to the point I was like, officer, I just left the exact same place. You were just in there buying a phone. Like, you were just in there. You know what I'm saying? You just saw, So it went like that for the longest. Make a long story short, I got the last straw. I bought another whip. When I tell you I hadn't even been looked at, like the lights turned on behind me, they went around me to get somebody. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, wow, is it really that deep? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with racial profiling like that, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I've been racially profiled too. My brother, both of us, man.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're not just because we the grandkids of a civil rights icon. Hey, that don't mean that excludes us from being black men in America.
Well, what's funny, you showing the picture, it's like they has no name.
Right.
Who is he?
So, it's just real talk, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, it's tough out here, man, especially when we raising these youngsters up and stuff. So tell people a little bit about yourself, man. What you do, what made you like take the step? I know you said it pissed you off. You wanted to get it done. You said the lineage, but what made you actually take? Because a lot of people think on doing things, but they never put it into action. You know what I'm saying? So like to talk to me a little bit about like what you do and what made you actually put it into action.
Initially, I wanted to get things changed about not seeing my grandfather's name, but then I started recognizing how that my granddad has a real big legacy that I have a seat at the table. You get what I'm saying? So I started thinking, man, but how can I use his legacy as leverage to change things in today's time? Okay. So I thought about it. I said, one of the things that I think that needs to happen for me to hold a corporation or people accountable is the church. And what I mean by that, and can I elaborate on that for a minute?
Please.
What I mean by that, if you go back to the Emancipation Proclamation, when you go back when the slaves were free, it was the church, it's the cornerstone of the black community. The church was training people, giving entrepreneurs money. The black church.
Yeah.
So I tell people this all day, and I don't try to make people feel bad, but for the black community, the church is the cornerstone. For the white community, it's the government. They always had the government to move them forward economically.
I never thought about it that way.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
But see, the church today is not the same church that our ancestors had.
No, it's not.
It just, I go to church, I get a word, that's it. For our community, that can't be it. So I said, you know what, my goal in my life is to take what Christ did when he told Peter, follow me, and he told him to throw the net back out, and he said, I'll make you fishermen of men. So I said, okay, in our community, the church got to be able to train people with trades. Why doesn't the church, I don't want to hear about any more gyms.
Yeah.
I want to see you're training people with heating and air, carpentry, roofing. Why the church does not train people with these simple jobs that can put, when they lose their jobs, instead of me saying, I'm going to pray for you, he'll go to work, go back out there in the world. Hey, I got these things for you for free to get trained that can help you get back on your feet, to put you back out there to start back taking care of your family, holding the church accountable. So in a nutshell, for me, I'm going to still talk about voting and it's important this and that, and lobbyists. I can elaborate on lobbyists, which that's for another time. But the church got to be held accountable on that side. Yeah. That's real talk, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah, that's deep, man. I mean, talk to me a little bit about your singing, man. I remember coming up My grandmother would get so excited to know that you were coming, but maybe he'll sing for this or he'll sing for that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was always a big thing, for you to come down and hear it, man. So talk to me a little bit about that journey, man, and how you're gonna be able to, kind of leverage that with the foundation and stuff like that.
And that's one of my brother that's his passion for heart, but mine is that working on this song centered around Granddaddy. Singing has been a passion, but from both sides of my family. From my mom's side, I remember her and her sister used to get up, and I used to be 7, 8, and like, wow, I can't wait to have that type of effect on people. And of course, Granddaddy, Grandma, I would always see them, the musicianship and all of that, and Auntie Valerie and all of that. So it was a passion that it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
And now it's all I think about. But what I'm currently working on is a project centered around Granddaddy and songs from the Selma, March to Montgomery, the Bloody Sunday, and even about his personal life. He lost 2 kids with muscular dystrophy.
Oh yeah.
A song about that, and to also give credit, like I said earlier, to the people that were instrumental in Selma. So you see this Courageous 8 hat on.
Yes, sir.
To them and people like that, and pretty much that's what I want to do, but kind of bring it a new sound, freshness to it, but still talk about history.
Yes.
So that's it's going good, and I'm really, I like the journey, that I'm going through. And even in that, man, as I'm writing, finding out more things about my granddaddy personally that I didn't know.
Wow.
Like when I opened the book, I didn't know that he didn't know his father, because he would never talk about that.
Right. See, that was my first time hearing.
He never talked about that.
Yeah,
but that hits you after that first chapter, where the book opens up about the Teachers March. But then when you get into his adolescent years, those were tough, man. Sweet potato every day, going to school, eating. See,
stomach full.
Yeah, he would eat a sweet potato every day. So stuff like that, I've tried to put into a music form, because to get this generation and the next to learn, you got to come with different tools.
Oh yeah, because ain't nobody gonna pick that just a book up.
Just a book
and
up.
Just read it. That's not
so
enough.
we talking about different things, not alone the music, but we want to do a children's book. We want to do a documentary.
Oh, okay,
so things of that nature, man. That's my more the creative side of that. That's dear to my heart. Yeah,
man, that's so cool, man. That's so cool that y'all are able to put it into action, because as the years go by, man, as I'm getting older and older and older, man, I'm realizing talk is cheap. You know what I'm saying? So when you about that action boss, who say that? Who say that?
About that action boss. Marshawn
Lynch. Yeah.
That's right.
And Robert Smith is 26 for the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, Robert Smith. Yep, that's right.
But so I mean, it's just I'm honored, man, that I'm in the presence of y'all, man, and we able to do this, man. It's a real honor and pleasure.
We appreciate
to hear it, man, and so tell the people what you would want them to know about your granddaddy, man. Just if you could just tell them one thing, man. If they was like, who is this guy in the picture? If let's say you was a fly on the wall and they walked in the museum and they was like, who is this guy in the picture, and you just happen to be there, what would you say? What would you tell them?
Man, fearless, unbought, combined.
Wow.
Stand for what is right. He like when my brother was elaborating on when we was coming up. He used to talk to us, man. One of the things I can say that he lived was he used to always tell us, and he lived this: stand for what is right. You know what I'm saying? Because right gonna stand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't care how I look. You know what I'm saying? Don't be looking for. He said he'll turn his head like that. Don't be looking for folks.
Right.
Yeah.
If you right, you stand. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things I live by.
Yes, sir.
What is right, what is right, what is right. And I treat people like that. I'm going to treat you, and I'm going to stand for what is right. So when you see that man, he was unbought. They couldn't buy him. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a person that had to have the attention. He was about the cause. The cause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you see FDReese, man, no, he was a person that stood for what is right. He was about the cause, and he was fearless, man.
And it's funny you say that, man, because we were just kind of talking about this earlier about, just like how teamwork makes the dream work and all that, man. And what you saying that he was selfless and, just, down for the cause. A lot of people get lost in, especially black people, because everybody want their face on the side of the bus.
That's right.
Everybody want to be Dr. King.
That's
right.
You
know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get behind Dr. King because you're not Dr. King. But little do they know, it's really not about, he's just playing his position. He's the quarterback.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to have a offensive line. You got to have a
Gotta have all that.
Got to have a running back. Got to have a punter. Got to have a kicker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You need all them positions. They're all is just as important to make the whole goal. So I wish as black men, I wish we could get past that whole side of it. But you may not be. I don't know. You may not be Tom Brady.
Right.
You just may not be.
Right.
That just may not be your role.
Right.
That's right.
But you might be the best. So I can't think of nobody off the top of my head. And it doesn't matter if they can't think of you because we sitting here talking about a man. Nobody knew his name.
Yeah.
But he was just as vital
Yeah.
to it as Martin Luther King. And they should know that.
You're
name,
right.
But
and today, what people do today, man, they do what's best for them. And not what is right. Because, like my grandfather used to say, he said, MJ Allen, what is right gonna go around the table. What is best for who? What is right might not be what's best for you individually, but it's right. And everybody gonna benefit from it.
And look, in that same token, when he used to say, you stand, and because he's
writing that thing down.
Then he used to go on and say, don't throw the towel in. Because they gonna break. I never seen it fail yet. And that's me there because sometimes even when we doing this, man, you can have those days you get discouraged. Oh, it's not working. And then I always think that. And what he meant by that is don't throw in the towel because when they break, you ain't gonna be there.
Wow.
They gonna break.
Yeah. Wow.
You got to be there though.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. Because if you ain't there, they like look. Moving on.
That's right.
Wow.
And that, man, I promise you, whenever I get discouraged or anything, I think of that. It's in my mind. Don't throw in the towel because the night here, but they gonna break, and when it break, you ain't gonna be there.
Wow. Man, that's
man. Our grandfather was for them to put a bomb at the house, and by God's grace, it didn't go off. Fearless, he told the FBI. This in the book. He said, man. They told him they came to the house, and my dad could account to this. He said, man, the FBI came to the house and said, Dr. Reese, you're on the hit list. He said, I don't care nothing about no list. You can take that list. We're going to still do what is right for my people to move forward. Yeah. So, hey, man. So we got to continue. Look, it's our duty to continue that.
Right.
You did what I'm saying? I feel like we're obligated to continue that.
Yeah. And that's,
you know what I'm saying?
And that's why I got in the car and drove here because it's heavy on my heart because I feel like the best way to get rid of us is to forget.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you erase us, then we...
That's right.
We never were.
We never were. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like one of my favorite 30 for 30s is Marcus Dupree.
Okay.
The greatest that never was. Never heard of him to 30 for 30. You never will hear him, but he was the coldest running back. Probably could have been of all time. But he just made some bad decisions, and now he's erased. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So with us, our bad decision is we don't even care enough to tell our kids. I'm guilty of it. To even tell my kids. I'm planning on when Harriet Tubman come out, at least showing her the movie, my kids the movie, but they don't even know nothing about.
Saw that was good.
And I know it is, you know, but we don't. As me, I'm as guilty as anybody. We just don't talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're more worried about, you know, what we got to do or this and that and this and that.
True.
And none of it is our lineage.
True.
That's right.
You know, true, man. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow, man.
But yeah, man, tell them where they can find you at.
Man, you can find me on Instagram, AM Reese. Is it AM Reese or Alan M. Reese?
Alan M. Reese.
Alan M. Reese. I got so much in my head. Instagram, Alan Reese on Twitter, Alan Reese on Facebook. I'm on my Instagram the most.
Okay.
You know, I see Instagram kind of is more beneficial than the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Especially for people you don't know.
Right.
Of course, my family
But
gonna
they say
support
a picture's 1,000 words. So
yeah, that's true. You're right.
So bad.
Yeah, man. So you can go to the FDReese on Instagram, the FDReese on Instagram, on Twitter the same thing. You can Frederick D. Reese on Facebook.
On Facebook, that's
and
right.
Find us, man. So
mine is Instagram Marvin Reese Jr. On Facebook Marvin Reese Jr. Same thing on Twitter.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
And the Lineage on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The podcast, the Lineage.
Yeah,
man.
be sure to check out their podcast. It's a lot of history there, a lot of great information that just from this conversation we had, I've learned some things. So you got some smart gentlemen here, some smart brothers, man, and they want to just keep the lineage going, man. They want you to know about them people in the pictures that you've been looking at for years. You don't have a name, you just have a face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They want everybody to get their, to get their championship ring. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense, So, if you could leave them with something, man, what you got?
If I can leave them with something, man, I would say, man, keep grinding. Whatever you got going on in your life, entrepreneurship, in your whatever business you got going on, you could be in corporate America, you want to move up the ladder, don't give up. Keep pushing, man. I don't care how hard it gets. You know what I'm saying? It's the nights that build character. As a man, it was my hard times in my life that turned me into the man I am today. I thank God for the hard times. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I can leave people with, man.
Man,
what you got?
The same thing, man. I got a song called "Grow," and I actually say pretty much what my brother just said. Sometimes the sun may seem to fade away, but don't cry, it's be better days.
Wow.
But keep praying for moonlight. The reason I didn't say sunlight is because I know it's dark, but keep praying for moonlight, because you want a little light in that dark space, because that builds your character. The nighttime. Because the day will break.
Yeah.
But while you in that dark place, just pray for a little moonlight to keep you surviving, man.
That's what's up.
And make sure your team, if the people around you don't have your same work ethic,
Yes, sir.
you gotta let them go.
Yes, sir.
Don't let them hold you back. They become heavy on you, man.
Yes, sir.
You gotta let them go, bro.
Yes, sir.
Preach. Well, man, this was a great episode, man. I'm so glad I made the trip down here to the ATL, man, to holler at my kin folks, man,
Yes,
my
sir.
family. We were just talking. We don't really see each other like we should. We always some sort of, some sort of way we don't really want to see each other. That we see each other, but we still love each other. And
right.
I'm glad I was able to get down and kick it with y'all and get some, get your brain and give the people, some good information. But this was the hashtag I Am Who I Am podcast. It's episode 26. We finally figured out it's Robert Smith. You know what I'm saying? He's 26. And I had a good time with this episode, man. This is really something I wanted to do with it being February, to get some, just some light on, our history, and who better to get it from the lineage. So hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And on Spotify, just follow me, subscribe, like, 5 stars is welcome. You can leave the bad comment, just leave the 5 stars. Apple Podcasts, everywhere. Like I said, 5 stars, comment however you like. Tell me the truth on how you really felt, but please be gentle on the rating. But on that note, this is the hashtag I Am Who I Am podcast, episode 26. I got Alan MJ with me, and as always, I'll be back. Yeah.
We came back across that bridge. They pursued us all the way back to Brown Chapel Church. And getting back to that church that day, I can remember, we sat in the back part of Brown Chapel Church, and I had prayer. I read scripture, and while in that sanctuary that night, the telephone rang in the pastor's study. It was Dr. King. He called me. And so he said, I understand you had a little trouble out there in Selma. He was in Atlanta. He was not in Selma when that violence took place. And I guess he was being facetious. I said, Dr. King, that's an understatement you make it. We had a lot of trouble here. And he said that he had sent a call over the nation to invite ministers who would come to Selma to lend their assistance to the people of Selma. And while in that sanctuary that night, about 9 o'clock, a group had chartered a plane from New Jersey, had flown to Montgomery, Alabama, and got a bus, came to Selma, walked in that church that night, and said, we have seen on the television screen what happened across that bridge today, and we have come now to lend our bodies and our assistance to the people of Selma. That was one of the most exhilarating and inspiring moments of that day.